You want to declutter your home, but you're finding it emotionally difficult to let go of things. In today's video, we're going to work through that emotional side of decluttering and come out with some practical tips that you can start implementing to create yourself a home that brings you joy. Hey, I'm Lindsay with Organize to Save, and if we're just meeting, welcome. On this channel, I am here to help you with budget-friendly tips, tricks, and digital products to help you declutter and simplify. Oftentimes, when we think of decluttering, it can be so stressful that we don't even start. Today, I'm going to walk you through a couple questions that you can ask yourself, as well as some practical tips that you can start implementing when you are trying to simplify. Before we dive into these tips, I want to recognize that we are all at different stages of our life, and we also all have different definitions of what simplifying looks like. I'm not at all trying to tell you that you need to declutter your house. But what I do hope that you gain from this video are practical tips that you can start implementing if you do decide you want to start simplifying your belongings. Okay, so let's dive into it. First things first, pretend you are moving. If you're struggling whether to keep something or get rid of it, a question you can ask yourself is, if I am moving, do I actually want to take this with me? Do I want to pack it? Do I want to move it? And do I want it in my new home? If the answer is an easy yes, then great, keep it and find somewhere for it in your home. But if the answer is no, I wouldn't really want to move this into my dream home, well, then most likely it's time to part ways with it. A good example is maybe a piece of furniture that you've had for years and it served its purpose, but you're no longer using it anymore. And if you ask yourself, would I really want to bring this piece of furniture to a new home? And the answer is no, then most likely it's time to get rid of it. Another great question that you can ask yourself is, have I used this item in the past year? Think of it maybe with your clothes. Do you have a top that you've held on to for far too long? You kept thinking, well, I'll wear it someday, or maybe I'll wear it for this. When you ask yourself if you've worn it in the past year, the answer is no. If you haven't worn it in the past year, most likely you're not going to wear it in the future. Now, a great hack for you if you're struggling to figure out what you've worn when, try flipping your hangers. I do this hack in my closet and it's so easy. You can start by flipping them all backwards, and then as you wear your items, you can flip them around or do it vice versa. As you wear something, flip it around backwards. So that way, every couple months, I normally do mine every 6 to 12 months, I check my closet and determine what hangers are still flipped the other way, which means that I haven't worn them. I go ahead and donate that item. Oftentimes, I think we can easily answer the question of, do I have a use for it? For me, with my crafting stuff, I know that I could come up with a bunch of projects that I could do with a bin full of buttons. A better question to ask yourself along with, do I have a use for it, is, do I have space for it? For many of us, it's hard to let go because we know that we could use it someday for this. We could use it someday for that. But we hold tight onto that someday, thinking that someday we will use this. The challenge for you is to stop living for that someday and make your house function for your today. If you hold on to everything that you might use someday, but yet you don't have space for it, you're likely going to forget about it or utilize space that could be used for things that you use on the daily. Also, don't forget that whatever is in your home, you are the caretaker for. If you have less things in your home, that means less to clean, less to store, less to organize, and less mess. To follow up on the last point, you might ask yourself, can it easily be replaced? Can I easily replace my bin of buttons if someday I decide I want to do a project with a bunch of buttons? Yes, I can easily go and get some more buttons. But why take up valuable space for my crafting stuff when there's other things that I'd much rather craft with that maybe I don't have space for because I held onto all those buttons? If you're liking this video so far and these questions are really helping you think of how to declutter, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and also make sure that you subscribe so you do not miss any other organizing hack videos coming your way soon. If you're struggling with decluttering items that maybe aren't easy to replace, but you're still not really using them, I'd suggest that you try a come back to bin. Put those items that you're not quite ready to get rid of yet, but you don't really use on a daily basis, into a come back to bin, store it away for a couple months, and then make sure to mark on your calendar to head back to that bin, and anything you haven't used in the last couple months, it's probably time to get rid of it. And I have lots of great questions that you can ask yourself as you're decluttering, but maybe you're still feeling overwhelmed with looking at all the clutter and you're not really sure where to even start. Lessen the stress and start with 10 minutes a day. Pick a time each day that you can set aside only 10 minutes to start decluttering a certain area in your home. Set yourself a timer and go! Breaking this down into only 10-minute increments, you're going to be more likely to, one, start, but also to keep going because it's only 10 minutes. I bet if you did this for just a week, only 10 minutes a day, you would be surprised with how much stuff that you can actually get through. Now, the thing to keep in mind with this timer challenge is to start with something small. So you're going to want to pick something like a junk drawer or one single box or one category of clothes rather than trying to tackle an entire room in 10 minutes because you have to be realistic. The idea with setting the 10-minute timer is to get you started and also give you a quick win. Once you see that you tackled an entire junk drawer in just 10 minutes, that's going to give you motivation to get tomorrow's 10 minutes challenge done. Now, I understand sometimes we just need somebody to talk to. I know for me personally, it's helpful for when I'm ready to verbally talk through things. If you're struggling to stay motivated or you're still struggling about what to actually keep, go ahead and work through things with a friend. You could even have a virtual declutter date where you're both working on a project in your own homes, and when you get stuck on something, hold it up. You can have your friend walk you through determining whether it's something that you should keep or if it's something that you could get rid of. They might be able to give you insight that you can't see yourself. Now, I personally love going to my friends' houses and helping them with organizing projects. I've done a bunch of different videos in their spaces, and once we can get out and about again, I hope to do several more. If you're wanting to see how I helped out a couple of my friends and family in their spaces, check out the playlist on your screen right now for more organizing inspiration, and we'll see you in that video.